Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Lee Cage. I'm your host of 15 Minutes With. I'm super excited about today's session. We have Mr. Christopher Ford. Christopher is a senior vice president for Top Block, which is a boutique Workday consultancy. And from my understanding, he dibbles and dabbles in things like photography, real estate, investment, and all sorts of cool and wonderful things. Without further ado, and try not to spoil any surprises here, I'd like to bring Christopher Ford to the stage. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate you kind of doing this. It's so good to see you, and appreciate you just kind of having me on the show.
Well, listen, Christopher, I've been following your career projections and your succession to all these different roles for the last couple of years. But our audience may not have a clue just who you are. So I'd love for you to take a couple minutes and tell us about yourself.
Sure. So first of all, I'll tell you a bit about me as a person, and then I'll tell you a little bit about my set of experiences from a career perspective. Me as a person. So, obviously I'm Christopher Ford, and I was pretty much raised in the Northern California area. I am married, happily married, coming up on 30 years. In fact, January 1st will make 30 years of marriage. I have three beautiful daughters. I've been just tremendously blessed. My oldest daughter is 27. My middle daughter is 24. My youngest is 22. I am a new grandfather. My grandson, Orion, turns 2 in December. I'm super excited about that. My wife and I both, it's new for us. And they live close by, so I get to see them frequently. I get to partake in raising him. Finally got a boy. So super excited about that. And I start with that because that at the end of the day is really who I am. The essence of who I am is just a simple guy who loves the Lord and loves other people and loves to just try to bring positivity everywhere I go. And I've taken that into my career in a variety of different ways. So my career really started out in the technology space. I started working for what is now known as AT&T. Back then, it was Pacific Bell, which was the phone company for California. I really grew up in the technology space at Pacific Bell. I was there for 12 years. I was a computer analyst. I was a project manager, senior project manager, program manager, technical director, etc. And then eventually began to hear about this thing called Silicon Valley. I started hearing about this thing called .com. I remember talking to my mother, who helped me get a job at Pacific Bell. She retired from Pacific Bell, which is not uncommon, especially at that time. And I remember explaining to her that I think I'm going to leave Pac Bell after 12 years and go to this Silicon Valley thing, this high-tech movement going on. I don't quite understand it, but I want to be part of it. And I remember my mother urging me not to quit. She said, whatever you do, she said, boy, don't you quit that good job. That's a good job. And she was right, right? She was right. Pacific Bell was a phenomenal job. But what I learned is that it was really a foundation. It was a launch pad for my career and my development. So I left Pac Bell, did some independent consulting. Long story short, ended up getting acquired by a company called Cisco Systems. At Cisco, I led their IT acquisition integration team for a while after working on the team first and then being able to lead that team. It was a lot of fun, 23 acquisitions around the world, did a great deal of travel. And that led to a whole bunch of other experiences that eventually led to me moving into the technology space for human resources. I was very attracted to HR. It was just interesting work, and I'm a bit of a people person, so it kind of matched. But I'm also a nerd, so people person and nerd, kind of HRIS. I found my home, right? And I really just kind of built out a career in that space at a variety of different companies, engaging in digital transformations, becoming a Workday subject matter expert. And that's what led to me now being really more of an executive advisor in this space. And it's been thrilling. I left out a whole bunch, everything like my military career and all that stuff as well. I'm a veteran, and just a lot in there. But I know we only have 15 minutes, so I'll leave it there.
Well, so now I have to ask, this is probably going to be the most important question I asked you today. What branch of service?
Oh, so I was United States Army Reserves. I was Sergeant Ford. I was a 92 Bravo, which is a medical laboratory technician. I went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina for basic training. I went to Fort Sam Houston, San Antonio, Texas for my advanced individual training. I joined the 352 EVAC hospital based out of Oakland Army Base, began working in a hospital in the laboratory, and learned that there are sick people in hospitals who actually die. And I don't know why I didn't figure that out prior to choosing that career, but I quickly learned that I don't like it. And that's when I went towards computers and switched and started my journey into Pac-Bell and all that good stuff.
Wow. So thank you for your service.
Thank you. I understand you're a veteran as well. Actually, not just a veteran. I think you are still serving. So thank you for your service.
Thank you. And I'm so glad you said Army, because had you said any other branch, it may not have been recognizable to me. Okay.
Understandable.
For those of you out there that have family members, or maybe perhaps you yourself are a service member or veteran, you'll get that joke later. Right. So you mentioned a little bit about this kind of evolution from technology or IT and really rolling into HRIS, HRIT. Did you always kind of desire to work in the tech field, or was it something you kind of landed into or arrived at?
I think I was a techno geek before geek was a word, before it was a thing. As a child growing up, I was always and continue to be fascinated with science fiction. I think that science fiction is science future. I've been around long enough to see us go from watching Star Trek, for example, and seeing the communicators, those Star Trek communicators, to then actually experiencing, the very first flip phone, right? Which was kind of like a version of the Star Trek communicator, right? I'm still waiting on us as a people, the human race, to develop the transporter, right? So that we can just transport one another across distances without having to get into an airplane or a car or something like that. I was always a bit of a geek, and technology just kind of came to me. And then when I got some formal training as a computer analyst working for Pacific Bell, then the lights just came on. I just thought, whoa, this technology thing is super fascinating. It's like never ending. There's so many aspects to it. You could build a whole career in technology and never get bored. And I feel like that's what I've been doing.
So you mentioned Workday. Now I must, kind of openly admit I am all too familiar with Workday. But for you as a leader in a Workday consultancy, what do you think is so impactful about the system that like an HR leader listening out there just has to know? Like if you had to give them that one line of why Workday, why TopBlock?
So first of all, why Workday? Workday, and this is not just my opinion. I think if you take a look at the analyst reviews and information, whether it's Forrester or whichever analyst information you read, it's probably the best, most comprehensive cloud-based ERP system on the planet. And it has evolved into that space. It obviously did not start in that space, but I believe that is the space that we are in right now. And there are many reasons why we can say we think it's the best. And I say best overall because it doesn't mean that there are not other technology solutions out there that can offer a portion of Workday's capabilities better than Workday can. That does exist. There are better products out there, but I have yet to find a more comprehensive product that offers the variety of capabilities and the depth of abilities and capabilities of Workday that's unparalleled in the market, in my opinion. And then you combine that with the ease of use. and many other factors. And it just adds up to being, quite frankly, the best overall system out there. And then why Top Block? So I've had the pleasure and pain of leading 5 full lifecycle global Workday deployments as a customer, right? In my role as the vice president of HR operations. So I've done these digital transformations in different industries, different companies, different sizes and shapes and geographic distributions. I've had the opportunity along doing that to use a variety of different partners in the ecosystem. I won't mention any names, but I've been customers of most of the partners in the ecosystem. There's something unique about Top Block. It starts with the people. It starts with how the company was formed, and it spills all the way into the body of work that we do. And it's just, we are a proven partner. Top Block is, without a doubt, the #1 Workday deployment partner in the medium enterprise space, and we have been since 2018. So that's why Top Block.
Wow. I frequently tell people that Workday has like an oath of enlistment. Okay. There's Workday basic training. That's your certification. If you can pass, your HCM or your financials pieces and then go off to do your specialty, whether it's recruiting or financial reporting, et cetera, that's like your AIT on the Army side of it. But then there's like this creed. There's this cultiness of it that like Workday people get in the community behind it. I've been in the community for a really long time, and I've collaborated with some Top Block folks and some from almost every other partner out there. I've been blessed by that. But I can definitely understand what you mean by like the usefulness of the product in industry, but also the community that you kind of built or subculture that you built within your organization as well. So that's awesome.
I think that the community is probably the largest differentiator. There's no other ecosystem that's quite like the Workday ecosystem in the community. And it's like the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, I could not agree more. So you shared a little bit about, now being a grandfather. Again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. Some of your military pieces, some of your, professional pieces, but there's this rumor that you actually are a photographer as well, or I'll give you the badge of honor. You're a photographer. Tell me a little bit about that.
So I discovered that I am fascinated with photography and pictures. It probably came from my father, who also was fascinated. One comment I hear frequently about my work is, "Ooh, Christopher, you've got the eye. What's the eye?" And I used to wonder, what the heck is the eye? I think the eye just means I see pictures a certain way and have the ability to capture those moments in the form of a picture. And then I turn some of my pictures into photo art. I have kind of a philosophy behind it. I call it the serendipity of symmetry, because when I create symmetrical images with these photos that I take, it turns into yet a greater picture than what you can even imagine. So some beautiful works. And for me, it helps me relax. It brings me joy. So when I'm not, doing very busy things in my life of, being a father and a grandparent and a husband and a technology professional and an executive advisor and, a business owner and a real estate investor and all these other things I do. And I just want to relax and just enjoy what God has put in front of me. Pictures is the place where I go. And then because I naturally like to share things with people, especially things that I love, I share them with other people. And I've been very blessed that people have really enjoyed my work.
Well, there's a quote by, I think, Destin Sparks that says, "Photography is the story I failed to put into words." So listening to you, I can sense that. I could immediately hear your passion as equal to your passion that you have as a HRIS and technology leader. So that's amazing. So we are at this interesting point in our conversation where we're going to move to a section we like to call rapid fire questions. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions. We just want the first thing that comes to your mind. We'll give you grace and forgiveness if it's anything crazy, but we want to start that Now, we're going to do about 2 minutes of these, and let's see what we come up with.
Okay.
All right. What is the best advice a mentor ever gave you about technology?
Stay plugged in, meaning technology is dynamic. It's ever changing. It's never static. And you never want to just rely on just one static technology. When you stay plugged in, it means you want to learn everything you can about a particular technology and continue to follow the trajectory of that technology and continue to improve your own skills and knowledge so that you can leverage that technology and share it with others throughout your career. So stay plugged in.
If your life was a movie, what would the tagline be?
Wow, what a blast.
What motivates you the most?
Beauty and love.
What is your hidden talent?
My superpower is the ability to truly relate to people in an authentic way because it's just how I am. I'm just wired that way.
I love that. What never fails to make you laugh?
My grandson.
What was your last impulse buy?
Las Vegas, Nevada,
Okay.
outside the Michael Jackson 1 show inside the Mandalay Bay, I purchased the red leather Michael Jackson Thriller jacket. It was kind of a nostalgic purchase. Okay. I just couldn't help it. I said, hey, Halloween's coming up. What better excuse?
Now, I feel like we will need like a after live post of you in this jacket. Okay, I'm just going to put that out there. What would your older self tell your younger self if you could go back?
You should have done more sooner. I know a lot of people, Christopher, tell you that you've done a lot, but you could have done a heck of a lot more. So you should have done more sooner.
I want to dig into that, but we're almost out of time. So we have to do a part 2 to this session. Maybe I'll do a 15 minutes with, after talk or something like that. Let's see here. What do you think is the key to living a good life?
Knowing who you are and offering yourself as something of value to other people. If you offer yourself and your skills and talents to other people in a way that helps them further their journey without expecting or desiring or wanting anything in return, you'll never, ever have to be concerned about what comes to you. You will absolutely be taken care of. So offer yourself and something of value to others to help them further their journey.
Wow, we're on the last 2. How would you like strangers to remember you?
For my pictures. I think that my pictures are my life. I've documented my life through my pictures, and I'd love to be remembered by my pictures. And quite frankly, by the deeds that I've done. If someone says, oh, Christopher, I remember him. He helped me, ... right? So if someone says, he helped me, and then fill in the blank, then I will have fulfilled my life's purpose.
I love that. And the last one is name a 4-letter word that starts with L.
Love.
Wow. I was thinking luck, but I love love as well, especially agape love. And I feel like
Yes.
You are someone that carries that as well. Are there any last minute notes that you'd like to leave with our audience today?
First, I just want to say to you, Lee, that I think what you're doing is amazing. I think that you have found a space where you can add value in the lives of other people en masse. So my first message is to you, Lee, to simply keep doing what you're doing. It's phenomenal. And then more broadly than that, I would just reiterate something that I said before. It's really not about us. It's really about the impact that you have in the lives of other people. And those who have the largest impact in the lives of other people tend to have the happiest lives ever.
Wow. I love that. Thank you again, Christopher, for joining us, for being a part of this. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again so much for tuning in to 15 Minutes With. You can check out Mr. Christopher Ford's information and content below. I will drop his LinkedIn there. Maybe go give him a quick Google, send him a note and let him know you tuned in today, or just heart or like this live. Thank you so much for being awesome and amazing. And in the words of Tabitha Brown, have yourself a good day. But if you can't, don't you dare go messing up nobody else's.